You know, John picked me up at the airport 13 years ago and drove me down to clip his bulls in Shattuck, Oklahoma. That wind blew 90 miles an hour, and it was about 105 degrees. Vanny was clipping heads. He cut his pants off at his knees so he'd have a little bit of air. And it was a hot, miserable day. John put me up in Motel 8. It was fancy. And it might have been a Motel 6. One of the guys up there with us came out. The bed bugs that got him in the night. He had bed bug bites all over his front chest. John must have really been trying to impress me. But it must have worked. It darn sure did. I went home after being in Shattuck with him on some days that should have been pretty miserable, and I knew that if I could work with somebody every single day in that kind of weather, that we'd probably be all right married. And 13 years later, I guess we're doing okay. It's been a heck of a ride. And I think as you go out through these cattle, you know, Joe and Elaine brought their family out of Wisconsin when John was a senior in high school when he graduated. They dropped him off here, and then they loaded everything up in Wisconsin, and they came down to Oklahoma. And I don't think they ever could have envisioned just what was going to happen. Everything out here is a true testament to people taking a leap of faith and believing in something that's bigger. This is a day that I always think a lot of Joe. This was a day that he loved. He loved to sail. He loved all of the friends coming. He loved all of the people coming. And our hired man probably thought I was about nervy as nervy. They had 1,000 things going on, and I had a new flag. I don't know if it got hung. I think I called him 3 times to put it up. Joe always made sure when you pulled in that there was a flag flying. And I know today he's watching down over us. All of John's family, there's a bunch of them here. I hope you'll say hi to them. You know, it's all John's brothers are involved in agriculture, and it's a pretty big testament to his parents to install a love of the cattle industry. It says a lot about him. I'd like to thank all of our crew. I don't know where all of them are. Some of them are out back. Some of them are in here. You know, it has been a heck of a ride this last week. We flushed donors. We still are calving the tail end of cows. You guys have all had the same crazy wet weather with up and down degrees and temperatures all over the place. Doctoring calves, there's been 1,000 things. They've been torching, they've been clipping, they've been videoing. We've been getting the sire directory out. We asked them to run so far and so fast and so furious. And they give 110%. They ride for the GBar. We send our kids with them. They help us raise our family. They are our family. We couldn't appreciate them anymore. John says, you know, you couldn't ask most people to do what we ask our crew to. We genuinely could not do this without everyone involved. It is 100% effort from everyone here. Greg's around here someplace. He doesn't get enough thank you. He stays on the back scenes a lot. He always makes sure he came out. He wanted to make sure. I hope none of your pastures looked like ours did. We looked like we'd overgrazed everything and ran them pretty hard because there wasn't any feed last year, and there dang sure isn't any this year. And there's been a lot of cattle that have moved through here. So Greg came and drug all of the pastures yesterday and the day before to make sure that it all looked presentable and we didn't look like a bunch of low rents just running everything into the ground. But he takes care of a lot of details. You know, I appreciate Gene coming and giving the insight on what he did on the cattle industry. I think if you guys don't follow Five Rivers on Facebook, you need to. You need to follow them, and you need to share what they put out there. They're a great advocate, not just for the feedlot industry, but for the ag industry as a whole. They do a phenomenal job, and they put information out there that is useful, that is relevant not only to us as producers, but to our consumers, and that's something that we need more of. We need people that are voices. We need more Gene Lowrys out there that are willing to get up there and talk about things. It's a pretty big, important deal. My little sister just sold 550 weight calves last night. They brought $2.78 a pound. Their 640 weights brought $2.57 a pound. It is a heck of a time to be in this industry. I'll tell you what, I don't care if you're in the seed stock or if you're raising commercial calves, good genetics are going to pay. And they're going to pay more now than they ever have. Those females, they're in high demand. There's not very many of them out there. This is a time to get pumped up. This is a time to put your money where it's going to pay, and that's where it's going to pay the most is in those genetics, being able to trade. I mean, either put your heifers on the truck or sell them as replacements. There's a lot of money to be made in them, and especially in the right kind. I just want to thank everybody in here. You know, I look at the people that are sitting in this barn and that are online, and you're our kind of people. There's nobody else I want to raise my kids around. I look at how there's dreamers and doers and go-getters. There's nobody that is more optimistic than a cattleman. They're always waiting for a better year, for another rain, for more grass, for better feed, for cheaper prices. It's the most optimistic industry in the whole entire world. And what a way to raise our kids. You know what? It might not be perfect today, but tomorrow, by golly, the good Lord's going to send us rain. And I can't think of anybody else that I'd rather raise my kids like. You know, we drag them around all over who knows where. John promised me when I married him it wouldn't be boring. And by golly, he has taken me from one end of the earth to the next. And we usually have about 4 little rat-tailed kids following along behind us. It's always quite a ride. But what an industry to be involved in. We sure do appreciate all you being here. We appreciate your faith in our program. You will never know how much it means, and we promise you that the 363 days out of the year that we don't have a sale, we're working for this. We're working for you to make sure that the genetics are right, that the people are right, that the customer service is right. If you ever have a problem, you call us. We know that things go wrong. We want to fix it. We aren't just your business partner. We want to be your friend, and by golly, we stick behind that. So God bless you. I'm going to turn the time over to some of my very dearest friends, and let's have a bull sale. Johnny, do you want to say something? He hates talking in front of here. John Griswold, and I don't even know where he is. This is his sale, and he's nowhere to be found. But God bless you. Let's have a heck of a sale. Thank you guys for being here.
I'm going to whip your ass. Get up here, Stephen. I can move this thing around. Hey, turn that mic on, Okay, everybody's got suggestions for me. Hey, folks, again, I want to thank Jeannie. I know she gets a little emotional up here, and I always ask her if she's pregnant, and she always says no, but one of these years, don't be surprised. It's a topic of conversation around here a lot, whether when Ruby, she'll come walking in, she'll have big old crocodile tears in her eyes, and I'll go, what's wrong? She goes, Ruby's 3. And so every time Ruby gets a day older, Jeannie gets a little bit more maternal. So, hey, but I'll tell you what, she did say that around here, for those of you that, I thought you were gone. Okay. I didn't say you were pregnant.
Miracle.
Yeah, I didn't say you were pregnant. Depends on how good a sale we have, I guess. So, but folks, for those of you that don't know, I am not an employee of Griswold Cattle. I am, John and I have a 40-year friendship. He is, without a doubt, the best friend I've got in this world. And it is a joy to be a part of this team. But like I said, I'm on the outside looking in on the everyday workings around here. Hey, there's times when I'm here and we need to help pull a calf or whatever, and I'll jump right in. But I mean, the people that make this sale and the people that make what the GBar is just that. It's a group of people that are passionate. They love and we love what we do every day, as you do. And we want to thank you from the bottoms of our heart. If you come from Florida, if you come from Minnesota, if you come from the state down below the Red River. We love our Texan friends. And for all of our friends here in Oklahoma and the surrounding states and everybody that's come here, I know I got people here from Ohio, good friends from Ohio here that truck and trailer out here, and I've got orders from people from I've got orders from people from 16 different states in my book. So the acceptance of this program, we are blessed to do what we love to do and to have you accept what we do. The thing that I guess that I want to leave with you today is I think, the time, as Gene was saying, the numbers, cow numbers, I don't think have ever been this low. I mean, I'll be 61 years old here in about 3 weeks. And in the 40 years that I've been helping people market cattle all over the United States, no time have I ever seen cow numbers as low as they are. I think the time is the time is now to be looking to the future. I think the time is now to be expanding your program because the good times are ahead. And I think it's time to invest in these genetics because I'm confident, as hopefully you are, that these genetics, these bulls that we're going to walk to you and these females that we're going to offer to you today will take you to the next level for your family and your program and where we hope you go to with us. A little kind of a cool little thing was I was laying in a hotel room somewhere this last 45 days and I was bored one night. And I got to reading, going through the book, and I was kind of marking my book. And for those of you that don't know, I mean, I study this book like it's a Bible, and I mark everything that I think is relevant for you that I highlight. But I started noticing the ribeye areas on these bulls, and I think as you start blending breeds together, I mean semis, mains, and Angus cattle together, I think it's very unique that John and his vision on what he wanted to do with the Griswold program with the GBar is to be able to take these cattle and be able to blend them and make them uniform. Because as Gene didn't tell you, uniformity in this market is very essential. And I think when you take these composite bulls into your program, the ability for them to be able to go into your cow herd, no matter how your cow herd is based, is essential in the uniformity. The average ribeye size on all the Simmental bulls in this offering was 14.26 square inches. The average ribeye on the Angus was 14.64, and the average on the mains was 15.64. Guys, I don't know about you, but you go to many bull sales and you read the ribeye areas on yearling bulls or predominantly yearling bulls, and some of these are longer fall bulls. But guys, that's muscle. That is the right size muscle for today's times. I mean, everybody wants to talk about getting more muscle in these cattle, but who of you are going to go out and eat a 21-inch ribeye? I can't. I mean, I probably could. I have, but I don't need to anymore. Neither do you. But the right size of muscle, the right type of muscle in these cattle is never more consistent. We average 14.84 square inches of ribeye in all these bulls in this sale. And I think that's a tribute to be able to blend these genetics together and make these cattle uniform so you can take them home. Again, sound, functional, good-looking cattle is what we do. We like them to perform. We want them to have some look. And more importantly, we want them to profit for you. So again, thank you for coming, guys. We've got a few people we need to recognize. If you guys please make settlement over there in the office where you got your numbers. Please do so over there. Where you got your number is where you'll make settlement for the cattle. Again, if you'd like to visit with Blake Nelson is here. My good friend Blake, where are you, bud? Right in the back here, a man with the black hat on. Blake Nelson, the Executive Secretary of the American Maine-on Jew Association. If you guys need to discuss anything with the Maine-on Jew breed, please do so with Blake. He also wanted me to remind you that any bull you do purchase here that's got a quarter blood or that produces an animal that's got quarter blood Maine can be registered through the association. And please ask him any further questions you might have about the association. Also, trucking, please let Macy know at the clerk stand or the people that are over there you're settling up with. Please let them know your intentions, whether you're going to take the bulls today or how you're going to plan on transportation, getting the bulls to you. And if you do need transportation, we've got trailers going to several different directions. I know we got 2 trailers going west here within the next few days, a trailer going east, and we will help you in all ways we can to help you with those transportation. Again, we want to thank Allison Manchester and Jordan Mullet for the photography and the video into these cattle. It's a big operation, a big undertaking, and they do a great job to be able to provide you with as much of that information too. Jill Otterstadt is the best in the business. There's nobody better at putting these catalogs together than Jill Otterstadt, and I want to thank her publicly for her help. Insurance, if you guys like to acquire insurance on your purchase today, again, please let them know at the settlement stand if you'd like to acquire insurance. Guys, we got a great team here